guys, it's Aqua, and you could probably guess by the title that today we're going to be taking a look at one Pleasant Company American Girl doll and one new Mattel American Girl doll. The Mattel American Girl doll does have freckles because she is my custom river, and I just haven't glued her wig on yet. I am aware that they are both different face molds, and I will not really be using their faces as a contribute to this video. I'm just going to be using other differences and similarities in their bodies, their vinyl, and their eyes. If they're a little bit dark, by the way, I'm filming this video at sunset outside and the sun's not on my side right now. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, I'm going to give you guys some background. Now, Americangirl switched over to Mattel after being Pleasant Company a little bit later on when they were about to go bankrupt. Because of the bankruptcy, Pleasant Company sold Americangirl to the company Mattel in late 1998. Therefore, over the next 2 years and into the early 2000s, Americangirl's price ranges started to go up because they were owned by the new company. The original Pleasant Company decided to die out and eventually ended their whole entire toy career. They did release a couple of other toys after they sold the whole entire Americangirl company over to Mattel, but since Americangirl was one of their most profitable organizations, they ended up still going bankrupt even though they didn't have enough money after they sold the company to Mattel. Resulting in the bankruptcy, Mattel had already lost a lot of money after buying the company. That resulted in the price of the dolls going up higher and the quality not being as well made. So we are going to look at some of the issues on the new Americangirls, and I do not have a current 2017-2020 doll with the zip ties around the neck. I do the Mattel doll that we have in this video actually still does have neck strings, but they only got rid of neck strings around in the late 2008-2009 era. Americangirl also switched over from marble dies to the new swirl dies in early 2014 and 2015. The swirl dies became most prominent in 2017 when the Americangirl decided to launch a new line of 17 dolls to the Truly Me line. One of the dolls here that we have is a new Truly Me doll from Mattel, and the other is an original Pleasant Company Samantha. So without further ado, let's get to some of the similarities. The first thing that we have on the dolls are surface similarities. These are similarities that don't have to do with going under the wig or into the body. So the first surface difference we have here is the sizes. Now, the new Mattel dolls are just slightly a little bit bigger than the older Pleasant Company dolls. I know a lot of people don't really notice that, but I thought it was something just that we needed to clarify at the beginning of the video. The next surface difference that we have here is the fingers. Now, the fingers on the new Americangirl dolls are bigger, and the two middle touching fingers go up higher, other than the Pleasant Company Americangirl dolls where one is higher than the other. Now, this difference is not as noticeable, but if you check a true Pleasant Company Americangirl doll's ears next to a real Mattel Americangirl doll, the ears on the Pleasant Company doll will actually be a little bit bigger than the newer dolls. I'm not sure why they decided to downsize on the ears, and it's not just something because of the face molds. I've seen it on other Pleasant Company marked dolls as well. Now, some people believe that this one is kind of just a little bit unnecessary, but we're going to talk about it anyway. This one is the stitching around the neck. The older Pleasant Company Americangirl doll stitching is just a little bit better made, and the newer ones just are kind of bumpy, and there's some skipping in the stitches. Now, this one's one of my favorites. This is talking about the eyes because I love the old Pleasant Company eyes, and I was kind of sad to see that they got rid of them. So the Mattel eyes are just a little bit cheaper, they're more cheaply made. They are just kind of swirls, and they lack a lot of the detail that the old Pleasant Company eyes had. Now we're going to start off on deeper differences, which are ones where you have to remove the wig and take off the head. The first one that we have is the wig glue. The older wig glue was almost transparent. It was very hard holding, so it had ripped off some of the wig, but it is transparent and not as icky looking. The newer one is not transparent. It's white when it dries, and it doesn't have as much as a strong hold on the wig. Also, I didn't forget about this, but there is a mark on the back that says Pleasant Company on your Pleasant Company Americangirl doll. Please keep in mind that some of the Pleasant Company heads were actually still kept and sold after Mattel took over the company. Alright, now this next difference is the discs and the marking on their head. The older Pleasant Company American Girl dolls had thicker discs that kind of stuck out the back of their head and was covered by their wig cap. They also had a small slit in the front of their head, and you could see where the back of their head and the front of their head were pushed together, and there is a line there. The newer American Girl dolls' discs are pretty much flat. They're kind of indented into their head. If not, they're not there at all, and they don't have any of those markings on the front of their heads. Alright, now this is the older Pleasant Company American Girl doll. You can see I can easily push it on her vinyl. It's very beautiful, soft, and squishy, and I can bend her hands and her elbows a lot easier than you can on the newer ones. It's obvious that they are made soft and to bend, and you can also bend her fingers so they can fit around things for like holding stuff, and I find that to come in handy in a lot of stop motions. Now you can see that I don't have to put on a lot of pressure to do anything, and I can also squish her thighs and her legs, unlike you can't do that on the newer American Girl dolls. Yeah, here's just me playing around. You can also squish her face a lot easier without having to heat it up, so it was really, really easy when I swapped her, and you can see that in the next video that I post. Now, this is the new American Girl doll. She's a lot harder to squish, and this is just me trying to put some pressure on her arms, and you can see that they don't bend at all. They do maybe just a little bit if you push hard enough, but you don't really want to force that, and they're almost as hard as like a brick, and they're just really hard, and they can't bend like the older ones used to. You also can't squish their heads without heating them up, so it's kind of harder to ice swap, and that means they're not Pleasant Company. Here I go again, just showing you that their thighs are not squishy because and if you try and grasp onto them, they're not Pleasant Company if they are hard. Now this next one is going to be their eyelashes. The newer American Girl dolls are hard, and their eyelashes are hard and plastic, and you'll be able to hear that, as well as the older Pleasant Company. You hear no scratch at all. Alright, now here's one that you actually have to take the head off and look inside the head for. So you can see that this is the Pleasant Company one, and you can see that around the rim where it was taken out of the mold, it is scratchier, not as soft, and not as professional. You can see that there's little like nicks around it, and it's just all kind of on the inside. It's got a bunch of raw edges, and it is just not as it's still well made, but it's just not as professional as they make them in the factories now. Now if you see her eyes, they actually go deeper back into her head than a lot of the other Pleasant Company American Girl dolls because she is a Samantha, and they go at least about that far into her head. So we're gonna take a look inside. They are like really, really bubbly. They're not as circular as the new ones, and you can just see that there's like multiple imperfections inside, and that's just how the older ones were made before we had the technology to create them how they are now. Now this is the new American Girl doll. Her eyes don't go as far back into her head as the older ones do, and they just go about not even to her ear, and it's a lot softer around the middle. It's a nice ring, professionally made. It's no really imperfections, and she also has a little mark, item mark on her head, and this is just them side by side. You can see the other one is a lot scratchier, and the newer one is a lot softer and smoother. Also, the eye sockets on the newer one are more circular, and they're just more in the shape that they are supposed to be. Alright, so now we are going to get into the blood and guts. Yeah, did I say guts? Yes. Without the blood. Anyway, so we're going to be taking a look on the inside of our dolls' bodies, and just their arms and their different limbs and how they're made differently. So without further ado, yeah, let's do the first one. So this is Pleasant Company's Samantha's body. It's really nicely made. There's a bigger hole at the top, and she does have needle pointed stuffing like the older Pleasant Company American Girl dolls. So it is just it's harder unless it's in the center, and her strings are a little bit better, well made, and they have that little gold thing on the inside, which the newer ones do not have. She also has very tight limbs, and you can just take a look on the inside. It's harder around the edges than it is on the middle, and it's just kind of springy as well. So that means she's Pleasant Company. And also on the sides, this is of like very thick stitching and more needle pointed stuffing. It just makes the sides better and shapes the doll more. Alright, now this is the newer body. So the newer one, the stuffing is just a little bit more, like it comes out easier. It's not needle pointed, and the limb strings are just kind of more frayed. They don't have that little thing on them that keeps them nice, and you really have to try and pull tight to get the limbs to tighten more than you do on the older American Girl dolls. So then again, just again, her stuffing, it comes out really easily. It's not needle pointed. It's really soft, and it's just really just like out, and but yeah. The last and final difference we have is the feet. Now the older American Girl feet are actually bigger than the newer ones. They are just longer, and they're just overall bigger inside, and they have a longer heel in the back. So thank you guys so much for watching. That is the how to tell if your American Girl doll is Pleasant Company or not. Those were all the differences that I could find. If you guys have any more, just please leave them in the comments. I could make another video later on if I missed any. And I hope this was informative to you guys, and please let me know if you guys want more videos in this style. This was really fun to make, and it was really easy. I could get it out quickly, and I hope that it helped you guys identify what year your doll was made in, or who your doll was made by, what the value of your doll is. I know if you get some of the Pleasant Company American Girl dolls off eBay, their owners may have chopped off the tags or done things like that, so you can't really tell what year they're made in. So I hope this just helped you figure out, what year your doll was made in. And I did want to mention that if you have a Pleasant Company doll head that still has the like weird swirled eyes that the new ones have, it was probably made after Mattel took over the company. But so thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and please leave a subscribe and press the like button. It really helps. I love when you guys do that. And you guys can go follow my Instagram at Aqua agndm, and goodbye.